Well, following the U.S. Supreme Court's overturning of Roe and Casey today, eyes across the nation are now turning to the individual states, many of which saw their abortion restrictions struck down or severely limited by the 1973 Roe decision. With the question of abortion legality now returned to the states, what might we expect to see moving forward? Here to discuss this with me is my good friend, Jeff Landry. He's the Attorney General for the state of Louisiana. Jeff, welcome back to the program.
Tony, what a great day today.
Big day. Big day. I mean, you were in Congress, pro-life advocate, been working for these issues, defending Louisiana's pro-life laws. Your thoughts when you got the word today?
Well, I mean, my first thoughts was like, this is a day that the Lord has made. I mean, just an unbelievable day. And I couldn't help but think of all of the people who have spent treasure and prayers and toil working for this day.
Yeah.
And I think today's a great day to rejoice. I think about the crowds at the March for Life every year in DC, the movement that a bad decision almost 50 years ago created, and so today the court gets it right.
Right. Yeah. And again, I'm going to talk about this with Chris Smith later. You served with Chris in the House, probably the longest serving pro-life advocate in the House and Congress. But there's political engagement, electing pro-life individuals. And then we had President Trump, who gave us constitutionalist on the court that brought us to this decision. But Louisiana is one of 13 states that their legislature had already worked to put in a trigger law so that abortion now is illegal in the state of Louisiana. How does that play out?
Well, first of all, again, for those who are watching and listening that are from Louisiana, today's a great day for Louisiana because we're
a pro-life
on the top of a good list, right? Which doesn't happen too often.
Yeah.
And what I can tell you is that, to me, Louisiana now becomes a template for states that want to protect life.
Yeah.
Right. And so we go into a stage, what I believe, of caring for life rather than destroying life. So the movement continues because it was all about protecting life. And because I've always said, there's no liberty without life. There's no freedoms without life. It starts with life.
I want to switch gears for just a little bit because the attorneys general for the states have become so important during this time of the Biden administration. I mean, you're like on the front line of defense with all of this stuff that's being pushed down from the federal level. Very aggressive, never seen anything like it. And you've been a part of leading that effort, pushing back, whether it's issues of immigration on the border, whether it's the radical policies and ideology they're pushing in our schools. Are we making progress?
On which, well, yes, from an attorney general perch. One of the things that attracted me to run for attorney general was serving in Congress and recognizing how dysfunctional the place is.
True.
And certainly
So
as someone who was raised by a pro-life warrior and by faith, I realized and always said that actually our answer to what happened today was never going to be in Congress. It was always going to be in the courts. And at the right answer, again, I keep saying the court got it right today because they moved that discussion, that debate to the states. Because when you allow our system of government that states are sovereign, then the government governs closest to the people. And so now we have states where their direct representatives, who you can hold them more easily accountable, like making decisions on issues as important as life.
But part of this is the fact that the states refused to be silent and not touch this issue. The courts didn't want them to touch it. They took it away, but the states refused. They continued to do this. I think this is a great model.
Yeah, no, it's an unbelievable model. I mean, it's one of the reasons I ran for attorney general. I was so glad that the people of the state elected me. Kind of going back to that same question is that these fights, policymaking, unfortunately, has become done in our courts now through litigation.
Yeah,
it's it's completely dysfunctional. I know a lot of people out there saying that's not how it's supposed to be. I agree with them. That's a discussion for another day. But what I do believe, though, is that what happens now is that we're now getting this ruling brings governing closer to
Right.
the people inside of the states.
And it will make it better. I remember back when I was in the legislature and I passed the first abortion clinic regulation act in Louisiana, and was kind of criticized by both the left and the right. And there's this idea that we shouldn't touch this, and I know others were critical of other moves that have been made, saying time is not right. Time is not right. You got to wait till the court gets right. It's never the wrong time to do the right thing. And I think the blitz of pro-life laws from the states brought us to this point today.
Well, Tony, I certainly want to go on the record and say that I've never been a critic. I was not one of those that criticized you. I really do appreciate the time you spent serving in Louisiana. I think that certainly, what happens is people like you are actually able, you have a God-given talent to see over the horizon. And it's hard sometimes collectively to get everybody to see over the horizon and to take a very methodical, easy approach to common sense issues. And so this, again, is just so great because, look, the things that you have done, the things that y'all have done, the path that legislators today have charted through Louisiana, we now get to go and enforce those particular laws. In fact, Liz Murrow, who's our Solicitor General, she has been great. She is just an unbelievable pro-life warrior. Argued the June case before the Supreme Court.
I was there.
One of the first things I asked her was, what about the admitting privileges now? And we started talking about it, and we realized that we've got some work. And this is important for people to understand out there as well. So we're going to be going back into court, lifting these injunctions based upon this ruling. And this thing is going to take time.
Yeah.
But the great news, the greatness is a celebration for all the prayers and all the work that people have done.
It's a great day. And thank you, Jeff Landry.
Thank you, Tony
For
Perkins.
all the work that you do on behalf of Louisianans fighting for truth.
Well, Tony, that's the job I got.